Today's video, we're going to talk about channel partner marketing, driving paid ad traffic at local channel partners, local brick and mortar store in order to generate more sales of your product in that brick and mortar store than you would have got otherwise with no kind of promotion of your company's products that you manufacture. This has come up multiple times in our firm now and had questions about this on this particular channel. So with that, I wanted to make a dedicated video about this because I also have had direct experience running a campaign where we actually promoted that we wanted people to buy in store, that we did not even sell directly on our website unless you wanted to buy wholesale or become a distributor per se. No onesie, twosie sales that frankly a lot of businesses aren't set up well to do because ultimately, it's quite challenging in order to do that. You got to set up a pretty good infrastructure to ship stuff out, within an hour or two of it being ordered to satisfy customers. Naturally, you got to provide good sales support, customer service support, manufacture product. A lot of companies just aren't trained well enough to do it, so distributors sell for them and sell through channel partners per se. So that said, I'm going to talk about what it is that you're going to do to amp up the sales of your own product and not just rely on your channel partners to sell, and then if they can't sell, that's the way of the world, or just accept it as is, or have to look for more channel partners. Because reality is, getting channel partners is not easy. They got a lot of people that want to sell through them, they have a lot of influence, and you need them more than they need you. So with as hard as it is to find new stores to get your product in, it's actually easier to just run ads at them to sell your products, which sounds crazy at the surface because why would you promote their store in order to sell your product? They're supposed to be doing it, and how would you even make money doing that? The reality is, though, they're not going to be promoting it directly. So unless people know your brand name already and you've already are a huge global brand, people are just going to come into your store looking for it. You have to be able to seed the process running ads for your product or service, which I'm going to talk about that on today's video as well. But you got to be able to seed the demand. To get the ball rolling, it's like rolling a snowball down a hill. Eventually, the snowball gets big enough and it'll just keep rolling regardless. But you got to get that process started, and ads are the best way to do it. I'll talk about how we did that if you stay to the end of the video for a individual car detailing product company, so you can see how this is done, as well as explain how we replicated this so you could replicate it for yourself for your own company. That is the proven system that we found works to sell more product through channel partners for our clients, or recommend to our clients that they do this. Before I get into the content though, if you don't know who I am yet, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is more sales and profit from your ads before paying any kind of management fees. We are the only agency on the planet who offers anything like that to their clients, which should tell you something about the quality of the information that you're getting on this video. Going into the content here. Now, to start, there are multiple ways to make your local channel partners sell more of your product, and this is a bit facetious, but they are YouTube, display advertising on Google Display Network, and search engine advertising on Google Search. All the main advertising channels that you would use to sell onesie, twosie sale, get customers where you're selling single units at a time on your own website, even though you don't choose to do that self, which, by the way, if you do sell on your website like that and you have channel partners, it never ends well. You're going to be competing against your own channel partners, and they're just going to end up getting pissed off that you're basically competing against them. They're going to bring awareness to your product, and then they're going to come to your website and buy it directly from you. People don't like this. You usually have to pick one or the other to be successful. Not to say you can't do it. I'm just telling you what I've seen before. It makes sense. Either people go all in on one or all in on the other. That said, you can run ads your website to promote the channel partner, so people are driven into store to buy from that channel partner through these different main advertising channels. And why these channels? Because you can target niche buyers. So if you sell, like we have in the case study I'm going to talk about today, a car dealing product that shines tires or whatever, then you can actually get in front of people who are actively in market for or researching ways to shine their tires. And then you just get in front of them with a good offer. Now, normally the way that most people would think to do this isn't going to work, as is why most people aren't successful with ads in general. They think if they show up with their ad that has that car detailing product on there, they're good. Buy our product. Look how well it shines the tire. Not good enough. Unless you're the only person doing it and it's a new technology and it's underserved demand, that's not going to work as is. You got to think of a more interesting way to go at your market if you're going to expect that ad to directly pay for itself. And that should be your way you should be doing things until you're doing 100 million a year. After that, if you just want to just get your ad out there for brand repetition out there, you can, so people just don't forget about you, you can do that. That's what Coke and Pepsi and Oreo cookies and all them big companies actually ultimately do. But as a small company, you got to make every dollar work that you're spending. So what you do is you come up with an ad, an offer, that will then encourage people to want to come into your channel partners to buy. And you can geo-fence this off, right? So that if your channel partner is in a city of 10,000 people, you can hit all 10,000 of those people while and if, only if, they are currently researching the type of product that you sell, that you want them to buy from this channel partner. So going back to the tire shine product, if you sell that at each channel partner, brick and mortar store, and this would make sense for brick and mortar stores. Online channel partners, yeah, you could do the same thing to drive traffic to them, but for the most part, respectively, if you're going to rely on online channel partners to sell your product, you're not going to do very well because those channel partners, because 50 million people are selling it online, they're not going to try very hard to sell your product. They're going to put it on your website, and if they get a little trickle traffic coming into their website to buy, they'll take it. Otherwise, they're not going to consultatively sell your customer to advise them why that's a good product and why they should buy it. Because if they do, they know somebody's just going to run off to another vendor to buy it from them wherever it's cheaper, because that's what people do when 15 people are selling the same product. They're just going to go to the cheapest one and buy from them, at least when you're talking about more expensive products. Either way, they don't try very hard, even if it's a cheap item that they could just buy without thinking about price. They don't try very hard to sell your product. It's just, here's the product, do you want to buy it or not? And if you're going to really do well, you've got to be able to market the usefulness, the competitiveness of that product in the market, and so forth. And only you are going to do that in that case. The offline channel partners are technically doing the same thing. They're not doing anything to sell, but there's a reason for them of something that they seriously can do that you can't, which is somebody can get it right away, and they can get it while they're already in store. So there's basically more efficiency also in the sales process, because you don't have to they don't have to market separately in order for someone to find it. Where somebody could put that product on the site, but unless somebody knows it's there, they're not going to find it on the website. Very few people browse around a whole website like that very often. You have to market your own product if you're going to expect to grow your market share, because these other channel partners, whether offline or online, like I mentioned, aren't going to really try to sell your product at all. They're going to rely on the demand that's already there. So you have to develop demand. And what most people would do, like I was mentioning a minute ago, is they're going to simply have an ad saying, hey, this is a cool tire shine product and you can get it at these types of stores or whatever. But there's nothing there to directly act on right away. It's like, yeah, it's a cool product, but by time I need a tire shine product, I'm going to have totally forgot this ad. And unless you've hammered it to me 10,000 times, I'm not going to remember it. And the idea is that when I need a tire shine product, that because I saw the ad 10,000 times, I'll remember to buy this one. You can do much better than that. You can actually have an offer on there and something that's going to immediately make them want to come into the store and buy, which is a much more efficient way to do business. It's one that lets you take $1 of ad spend and turn it into a set amount of sales revenue, so that once you get the formula down that you're able to get enough sales off of the ad spend, you can actually parlay that into more ad spend and then scale the campaign and take something that would have normally took 20, 30 years of doing business to build up. You could get it done in 3 to 5 just because you created an engine where $1 turned into 2 and then 4 and then so forth. So way that you do that to build urgency for the people that you get in front of, you got to understand how to target people that are good prospects to target. Now, if you sell dermatology services, or let's say you sell a facial cream, you don't necessarily have to target people that are looking for facial cream. Now that helps, but because 1% or more of the market buys that already, you can actually just blanket everybody. You don't have to worry about targeting so much. If you sell the tire shine product, there's only, basically, even though it's a pretty ubiquitous product, there's still not that many people who buy that product at the end of the day. There's a small group of car enthusiasts who buy that product. And you're gonna be wasting a ton of money advertising to the general public to get people to buy. So you have to narrow it down to people that are in market or looking for information about tire shine products to really get a good return on your investment, at least right away. And that's what you should be doing in that case. And that means YouTube ads, because you can target people on YouTube where if they're searching anything about Tire Shine products, your ad's going to be there. Google Display Network, where you can get on any blog or web page that talks about Tire Shine products, you can have a banner ad running on it through that. And then you can also do search ads. So if someone's looking for a Tire Shine product on Google search even, you can have an ad that drives them to a landing page that has an offer on there that then drives them into the channel partner store to buy. Yes, it would be more efficient to get the sale where people could buy it right away on your site and you shipped it to them. You don't need to, and you can still make that system work if you narrow down the targeting enough and you understand how to make an offer that's going to get people to act right away because it's good enough. Naturally, if you have online channel partners, you could drive people to the channel partners website for them, which they'll love, obviously, because they're going to get free traffic and free sales. You can go that route with it. But for the offline channel partners, I want to say the online channel partners is basically the same way. What you're going to do on that ad is you're going to have an offer on there, regardless of where you're showing up here, or if you want to say all of them that I just talked about, YouTube, display network, search ads, you have an ad there that says Tire Shine product, 50% off. That's not the whole gist of what you're offering, but you have a 50% off manufacturer's discount or rebate, if you will. And you don't see manufacturer's rebates too much anymore, but they were used all the time back in the day. I love going back and looking at how things were done back in the day, but people have abandoned because online marketing came around, and so people don't do things the way that they were before. But it was always a proven way to do business, and because people have abandoned them, you knock the dust off of them and they become very effective again because nobody else is doing it. So that ad has that offer on it. Then you send them to a landing page with that manufacturer's rebate on it. And what it basically does, you have to fill out a form in order to get the 50% off rebate. So you get their email address, so you can market to them from then on through email and through a MailChimp account, you're building up an email list. But also what this offer says is if you want the rebate, once you go buy the product, you just simply have to show your receipt that you bought it from your channel partner, and then you'll send them the money, essentially, a check. Some people actually do a refund of the next purchase to where the next purchase is basically free or something like that. It's a different way to do it, but that's what the main offer I would recommend you to do because we know this already works. And so they get the rebate and then they're thinking, okay, now I'm going to go to the channel partner to purchase. With that said, this is actually, you may say, well, I don't want to offer a discount on my product in order to get it to move. Well, think about it from the consumer's perspective. What's going to cause them to run into the store right away and buy? There's not too many things you can say other than you'll give them another free product, you'll give them free access to another product that you're only giving to certain customers or whatever. I mean, there's other things that would work, but that's the main thing that's going to get them to come in. And you got to develop the market. That you have to be able to get so many customers to get the ball rolling down the hill, the snowball rolling down the hill, where people are going to be recommending your product to other people, that they're going to know about it, so they're buying again. So you get more organic rankings because more people are Googling your name, which is a part of getting ranked organically, and so forth, and getting reviewed by influencers and so forth. You got to get so many customers, so much critical mass there, otherwise it's never going to happen. You got to be willing, if you're at least a newer company, basically make no money on the front end so that you can actually get, for every customer that's out there that you didn't have before, you have more chance to get referred and so forth. And if you're a mature company, for the most part, you probably don't have any problem selling, so you don't need to be watching this video to begin with. And but if you want more market share, the easiest way to do it is to offer less margin on each product that you're selling, having that manufacturer's rebate there, and promote it in all the places where people normally are looking for information on how to buy or should they buy, or fixing a problem that your product fixes. The channel partners always have requirements. You have to sell so much to stay in those channel partner locations. So this mechanism here almost basically ensures that you're going to be able to stay in there. The best way to get channel partners, by the way, is to say, I'll ship you the product and you're going to buy it, but if it won't sell, I'll guarantee we buy it back from you. Then you lead it up and you say, this is going to work because our other channel partners, we heavily promote them online. And our other channel partners are successful because we promote them online. So this is a guaranteed turnkey way for you to earn extra money, because here's a case study right here that shows that this channel partner here makes $5,000 a month in sales. This channel partner here makes $2,000 a month in sales. And then it's just, for a purchasing manager, they're thinking this is an absolute grand slam. So once you get 2 or 3 of these going, where it works, then you can get as many channel partners as you want, basically. Or you can get a channel partner, work your ass off to get one when they don't understand what the value is going to be because they've never heard of your brand before. Then you're fighting like hell to convince them to just keep it in their store. Completely flips the situation. With that said, I mentioned I have a case study where we actually sold a card detailing product that wanted to sell more product in store because they didn't want to sell directly to the consumer on their websites, which anymore, typically that's the way to go because you can control the whole customer experience. It's more efficient to run ads and drive traffic at your website, as I mentioned before, than driving traffic to a channel partner. That said, the best of the best scenario is you go direct to consumer, and then as you get to be popular, you're a household name or close to it, then you get your channel partners because they're going to be coming to you begging to take your product into their store. Then you start saying yes, and it's now on your terms versus their terms. That multiplies what you can make, and then ultimately it gets more branding of your product, so more people are going to come online looking for your product. Instead of buying in the store, they end up later buying it from you, which then gets you more organic rankings because Google notices this, and it actually multiplies what you're able to do for yourself versus just trying to do channel partners, driving traffic to them. You don't get all these additional benefits, if you will, of selling online. And with the amount of 3PL providers, you don't have to be good at e-commerce anymore. You can have a website, have outsourced the fulfillment to somebody else, and all you got to do is provide good customer service and sales support, and you're done. You can train an employee to do this. You could even outsource that too, by the way. With that said, before I get into the case study results here, if you want somebody that can tell you the best layout for promoting your products in your channel partner stores, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com and I'll tell you in your specific situation what you should do. We also can guarantee results that are firm. That is a certain lift in profitability from your ad spend if you're trying it already before taking management fees. A little bit tough to track those sales results with trying to promote channel partners, but there clearly is a way we can do that. So just reach out to me and we can have a conversation about it. We don't work with every client, but we'll at least try to see if we can make something work together if you reach out. Beyond that, we also been selling ad templates. If you sell something that's similar to what our clients are selling already, you could take the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates, all of it that work for that particular product or niche market and use them for yourself. And we sell those for a one-time fee. We've worked in hundreds of niches before, so the chances are quite high we've already got an ad template that's going to work for you already. So you should at least find out if we worked in your space and what results we've got with it, and then so you would know what you stand to gain with it basically. And if you have any questions about like one-offs on this promoting your products through channel partners, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. But to get into the case study here, for the card detailing product here that we promoted, when we initially did the test, this client said they had right around $500 a month in sales of product from this particular store we did in a test market. They sold in other stores, but like I mentioned to you, what you're going to do with this ad that you run on YouTube display, search ads, you're going to run it a 10-mile radius around that store. So basically driving distance to that store. And so if they're looking for that card detailing product in specific or a product similar to it that does something similar, it will make a tire shine, whether it be a different, indirect competitor or whatever, you're going to have that whole geography blanketed for that, any kind of search regarding that on the search engines, on YouTube, on the web, wherever. And that's what we did. And we did this with the 50% off manufacturer's rebate that you could redeem once you bought and then you showed proof of buying it, which is normally how manufacturer's rebates have worked in the past. And within 90 days of having that on already, so the ads could get some traction. It takes time to get traction with your ads no matter how good they are. We were up to $2,300 a month in sales from that same channel partner store just by having the ads run in that 10-mile radius around the store because it was so heavily saturated. And so anybody that was normally had thought about buying a product, they were definitely going to see our ad and now knew of us, and they're going to get a discount for it. Which, by the way, that ROI of 20%, you basically were paying $500 a month ad budget roughly. So we had about a 400% return on investment on our ad spend to get this lift of $1,800 in lift in sales at that channel partner. So it's between a 3 and a 400% return on investment, or 350. But that lift is just the start of it because, like I mentioned before, you're going to have people who are going to refer you that bought. You have people who buy, again, obviously, not always, but for every person who buys, you're going to get an average of another, half of a purchase, generally speaking. So that adds into the ROI. So you add those two additional things in instead of a 350% return on investment, which isn't great, but it wasn't losing money. It's now a 500% return on investment. And the longer out that you go, technically, and you wait for people, the additional referrals and purchases to come in, it can actually get more. It probably would be even more than that. Anyway, that shows you how effective this actually is, ultimately. If you target it right, you know how to get your ads to only show up for what it's supposed to show up for, which is tricky to do because Google, through YouTube, through display campaigns, through search ads, they're really trying to get you to run your ads beyond where you need to run them because they want you to spend more money. But you do that in combination with a good offer on a good landing page, and you have a good video ad that shows, you also show the effectiveness of the product like we did, and then we mentioned that we have a 50% offer. 50% off on our new tire shining product. Here's how good it works. Boom, 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 boom. Click here for the manufacturer's rebate. We sell it in your local XYZ store. Then it drives to a really good landing page. That's the funnel, if you will. So you have to know a lot of small details in getting all the rest of this right if you're going to expect to get a 300 to 400% return on investment like we did here. But all that information is basically on this channel in terms of making landing pages, making good video ads. I talk about all this stuff on this channel. So with that said, as a side, you should subscribe to this channel if you're serious about making it work, because I give you all the micro details on how to set up good campaigns that are effective, that are tight, they run tightly, and there's no better source of information on that exact topic that, as far as I know, anywhere else on YouTube as well as online, because the information you're getting is coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm and have been doing it over 10 years now. So you should definitely subscribe if you want to actually, if you're serious about making ads work for your company. You should also check out my blog while you're at it at guaranteeppc.com/blog. The blog actually has step-by-step instructions on how to set up campaigns that are effective and that work for clients at our firm, in which we can guarantee their results as well. Most of the people who like the channel like the blog, so you should definitely check that out as well. So with that said, you can do something similar here for yourself. It's not going to be a big risk for you to commit $500 a month ad budget to a small test market around one channel partner's physical premises, run ads in all the places that people are doing research for your product, and just see how much the sales go up for that channel partner that you have. And then the reward being that you can do it for all your channel partners. Even greater than that, like I mentioned before, is you can use it once you have a case study to get as many channel partners as you basically want. If you're going to guarantee me a 4-to-1 return on investment because you can show 3 other channel partners who get that now, and you're going to buy back any product that doesn't sell, then why the hell am I not going to do it? Now, naturally, if you have a grocery store, there's not to say like there isn't slotting fees still and whatnot. But even in that case, you still want to do this because it costs money with those slotting fees. If you're not running a promotion to drive traffic into the store, then you're not getting nowhere near the total return you should get out of it. You should be having that same promotion to get people into the local store to buy the stuff that you sell. And that's just the way that it is. Once you do this once and you find out it works, then there's not a lot of tweaking you have to do. For the most part, once you have your conversion tracking set up on your account, on your Google account, to track people who are going to download the manufacturer's rebate because they have to fill in their email to get it, then the system is automatically make your ads more and more efficient from there. You'll try to set everything up as tightly as you can. Then the system's going to get you a cheaper and cheaper cost per rebate request. And that is all just going to go into getting you a higher return on investment. And there's this point where your return on investment is going to be high enough that you don't need it to be cheaper, rebate requests to be cheaper, then you're just going to go for more rebate requests. But the smart bidding systems and the algorithm that Google has that drives all of their ad system and their ads and whose ads show and whose doesn't is all predicated on this conversion data. And if you set up the conversion data right to come in right, the system will get you more and more sales on an ongoing basis just through the trial and error process of seeing what people were interested in the offer, which ones weren't, weeding out the people that weren't, and scaling up the ones that were. Respectively, you could do the same thing for a service company as well. If you wanted to sell, you have a Christmas lights hanging service, and you wanted to work with a lawn care company that doesn't offer that yet so they can bring in additional revenue, then you could use a similar system as you're using here, or we're using here, driving traffic to their website and give them a dedicated landing page for them to have on their website. then actually sell through them. And it'd be worth it to do because they have all the trust and recognition in the market, whereas you may not. And if everybody knows that company, then you're going to get a better return on your investment sending the traffic to them to a dedicated page on their site than you would sending it to your own website, particularly if you can market to their customer base itself. All your ads only show up for their past customers, which we've actually done that, and I'm going to have a separate video about that specifically as well. So with that said, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up with that though. If you want somebody to evaluate your situation, I've been offering coaching to our clients, also other agencies that need help. In 30 minutes of just asking you a few questions, I can pretty much guarantee that I can tell you how to get to the next level with your marketing and specifically to get more sales in your company if you're bottlenecked. A lot of times, a lot of you guys need help on your website. It's not your ads that are not working or your pricing strategy. And I can look through your entire setup and let you know where the bottleneck is so you can get to the next level with what you're doing, and it'll save you a ton of money and time you're spending now to try to get your ads to work that it's just not going to get you anywhere, and you can find out where the real problem is. So I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people are taking advantage of coaching that I have now as well, not just the typical agency services we provide where we provide everything you need to run your ads correctly and manage it all for you in case you want to manage your own stuff but just need to know what you're lacking. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said running ADs was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.